lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Jose, Sleeping Warrior, Slick James Johnson, Ratty Flat Earth, Mind Warped and Paul. Shout out to Colin Turner for hitting the super chat. Welcome one and all.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're also joined by Eleanor.
Hello.
Definitely no swearing. Hey. Wife's gone out to get my newborn a birth certificate. So it might be a bit noisy for me. We shall see, hopefully.
The minute she signs that birth certificate, that child becomes part of the state.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, any evidence for curvature?
No, none.
Do you know what? There's points in this conversation where I just don't understand how the ballers have got zero critical thought. There are real valid points with how many things that they claim is curvature, and we're saying, nah, there's about 50 other things that can cause this. How do you prove that it's curvature? And they simply refuse to accept, like conspiracy cats, for example. He will not accept that the Earth needs to be manipulated in terms of its rotation to cause sunrise and sunset. Conspiracy Cats is a physics teacher, and he will not accept that the scientific method needs to apply against the Earth to prove that the Earth does what they tell us it does. He just literally ignores it. Like, he's a physics teacher. If a student said that the amount of acid in a particular solution did something, and then didn't manipulate it to prove that the acid did something, he wouldn't allow that in class. Yet, when it comes to the shape of the Earth, that teacher seems to just dispense with the scientific method and apply his own sense of logic and reason instead, and then push his narrative. And when challenged, he claims that it's ridiculous because you can't manipulate the rotation of the Earth, which kind of is our point. Conspiracy Cats is a physics teacher teaching children the scientific method and applying it daily, but doesn't do it against the topic that he's prevalent in. And I've got to wonder why. Why would a teacher not do that?
Any other?
Have you heard of a new thing that I just saw today called the N gradient? Have you heard of that?
Oh, tell us more.
Oh, it was just something that the Rumpus was talking about on another chat that I've got added into. I don't know much about it, but I can hear they're saying it's just about N gradient or delta N measurement, usually measured in a 10 greater than 6 per kilometer refraction index of air to sea level. So yeah, I'll have to look into it, but yeah, it looks interesting.
It'd be really useful if they use that rather than 7/6R.
Yeah, there's a little document here I'll try and put in the side chat.
Good stuff. Right, axial rotation. Any signs of axial rotation?
Morning.
Hey, Chocolate.
Guys,
Sorry,
can you hear
didn't
me?
see you. How you doing?
I'm good. How's everybody? Somebody have me blocked because I couldn't get on with my regular account.
That's weird. But a couple of people
Yeah,
said
well,
that
you-
over the last couple of days that people have
I
not
don't
been able
think
to get on.
I don't think it was that. When I first tried to join, I couldn't get on either, and I just tried it again. Then I got on, so it might be just something with the link.
Be great if somebody from the audience could actually try the public link. So it's at the bottom of the info box, as stated in the in the intro. But yeah, if somebody can join from the public, even if you just drop, just to make sure the link works okay. I'm pretty sure it should.
But if you do happen to join, make sure you bring some evidence if you think we live on a spinning ball.
Yeah, ideally with ball Earth evidence. Any evidence of axial rotation?
Yeah, the stars, Nathan. 2 rotation points. Boom.
What about them?
Celestial
2 rotation
spheres.
points, Nathan.
Hey, James.
Both spin in opposite directions.
Car wheels.
No, they don't. No, they don't spin in opposite directions. All the stars rise in the east and set in the west, regardless of your
But you do
location.
accept that they rotate, though, right? Over 2 axial rotation points.
Axial rotation points. No, that would be a formal logical fallacy. If the Earth is a sphere, then we will see rotation points. We see rotation points, therefore the Earth is a sphere. If P, then
Yeah,
Q,
but
Q,
Nathan,
therefore P.
what else could they be caused by?
Well, a whole number of things. Maybe some scientific validity being given to the assertion and presupposition that Earth is a sphere with axial rotation points.
Nathan, ring laser gyro. Bob from Globebusters proved that the Earth turned with a fiber optic gyro, Nathan.
Well, number one, no, he didn't. Number two, the person who would assert such a nonsense would be assuming that Earth has a Coriolis effect, 2 reference frames, the necessary part of that explanation.
That's a red herring. That's a red herring. I said that Bob Nodell proved rotation of the Earth with a fiber optic gyro. Address that point.
Yes, if you are to assert that Bob has proven that the Earth turns by way of fibre optic gyro, it would necessitate the gyro being in one fixed reference frame and the Earth turning underneath. The Earth turning underneath giving you your 15-degree deviation. Well, that means that you have the Earth turning underneath and therefore an effective Earth-based Coriolis effect. That's right, Coriolis effect that we don't definitely have, because otherwise plane travel would be massively reduced in one direction, and it's not. Helicopters would have the Earth rotating underneath them as they went in the air, and they don't. So there is no Coriolis effect. Hey, Jazzaconda? Can you hear us?
This is it. He might just be joining to test the link. Jazz doesn't bring anything to the contribution of the conversation.
I don't know. The other day he was very adamant on how well, besides that, he was very adamant on how the vacuum of space being a second law of thermodynamics violation was the worst argument for flat Earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
he was actually saying that flat earthers should stop using that argument.
Oh,
And I was
that's
very
fine.
curious as to
Can
why.
everyone shut up for a second? Can you hear us, Jazz?
I know. I was
Hello?
in reference to that. I was just saying that there's gas pressure, and please don't cut me off. There's gas pressure. That's what's in an air compressor.
yeah, and what's the definition for gas pressure?
That's completely irrelevant right now because we don't have gas pressure on Earth. We have atmospheric pressure.
Sorry, we do have gas pressure. We definitely have gas pressure. We don't have gas pressure. We have atmospheric pressure. Is that what you've just said? That's nonsense. We do have gas pressure. Hey, Ron. How you doing?
Nathan.
Hold on 1 sec. Hey, Ron. Can you hear us? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good to have you.
Nice to be here.
Go ahead, Jazz. We have gas pressure, but we don't have gas pressure. We actually have atmospheric pressure.
No, actually, Nathan, I'll let you carry on with your conversation. I'll go and have a quick. Oh no, if doing that's not appropriate. then
Well,
I'll
Jazz,
stay there.
you actually caught us in housekeeping, so and this happens to be one of the questions. I mean, we started this conversation the other day on Arwen's. I mean, we might as well continue it now, right?
Yeah, I'll ask the housekeeping
yeah,
question. No worries. Any evidence of gas pressure being maintained without the necessary antecedent of a container to press on?
Go, Jazz.
Well, it's been a number of years since I did my meteorological exams, but
Can I just
from
ask,
memory.
Hang on. Rich from Thrive and Survive says that you don't need to do any formal academia to be a meteorologist. Can you demonstrate that you did actually take exams by showing us the course and the institution you did them at? Because I'm going to call bullshit on the basis that Thrive and Survive says that meteorology doesn't require any exams.
Okay. One, I'll leave that for a second because you just did you just did the opposite of what you're telling everyone to do by saying that, which is research for yourself. So by
No. You're making a claim, and I'm calling bullshit immediately before you go on. Because on the basis that Thrive and Survive was a meteorologist in the Navy, and he said that you do not need any formal qualifications to be a meteorologist, and you've claimed that you've done exams, I'm asking you to demonstrate what course you took. I'd like to know what course it was that you took, because I don't believe there are any. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But does anybody disagree with my question? It's a reasonable question.
It's sleeping. It's a reasonable question, but do you know how many pilots there are in the world?
Right, red herring.
It's not a red herring because every single one of them has to do the same course. And
a meteorology course.
That's part of your commercial pilot's license. It's meteorology.
Right, your claim was that you took meteorology exams a few years ago. So can I see any course that you claim that you took in an institution of meteorology or similar? Just tell us where it was and I'll look it up.
Well, you can go and do it yourself. You can simply go to your local aero club and look at what exams you need to do for your course, and you can get the textbook. I've got the textbook. If you want my email, I'll send you the textbook.
Meteorology exams in Australia, yeah?
Commercial pilot's license.
No, you didn't say that. You said you took meteorology exams. I want to know what meteorology exams you took because I don't believe there are any because Thrive said that he didn't have any formal qualifications and he was one. So I'm asking you to demonstrate
and that is part of the problem that I'm saying, which we'll get to in a minute.
Okay, well we are gonna come back to it because I'm gonna call bullshit on that claim that you made that you've took meteorology exams because I don't believe there are any. But carry on, we'll come back.
Oh well. In the meantime,
there's
Ron,
also
did you have something to present?
No, I don't have anything to present.
No, Ron.
As such.
No, Ron.
Oh, sorry.
Did you get that in Australia or in New Zealand? Because being in Australia, I can pick up a Kiwi accent.
Mind warped. Try that again.
Oh, hey, Nathan.
Did you have something to present, Ron?
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
sorry. How many people on the panel are called Ron? Just one person called Ron?
Yes, sir.
So yeah. I'll try that a third time. Ron.
Yes.
Do you have something to present? Excellent, Ron. Do you have something to present?
Yeah, you'd asked me to come on and show my like Pontchartrain footage that I took.
Oh wow! Yes, please.
I've
got you presented now, so we're seeing your screenshots at the moment.
Nathan, I'll just mute yourself for a couple of minutes if that's all right.
I got a little bit of footage to present also when I get a chance after Ron.
Sure, no worries. Let me know when you're ready, Ron.
Okay, I've got it up on my screen. Can you see it? I'm using OBS Studio.
Yeah. We've got a white screen with two. Sorry, it's really noisy.
Okay.
I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. This was the day we got there. The conditions were terrible, but I just panning back and forth across the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway here, and I can pull up my map here in a second and show you where I was at. So the wind was absolutely terrible this day, but as you can see, left to right, there is no apparent curvature. And there's one point where I showed the humps in the bridge. I know Sound only shows that video with the extreme humps where he's compressed it, but you can tell that that has absolutely been manipulated by him.
Allegedly, it could just be an optical effect he's forced, as opposed to physically manipulated. But yeah, just to get that in before you slander soundly. That's a bit of a tongue twister.
Can't slander a fictitious character, Nathan. Soundly doesn't actually have a persona he reveals, does he?
That sounded like
He's
some
like Tim Osman. He's just an omnipotent presence online that has no identity.
Oh, he's been doxxed though, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah.
So what's his observation here?
Yeah, talk us through it, Ron.
I was just panning across the Lake Pontchartrain Bridge as far as I can see. I can show you on the map here where I was exactly. I was a little over 3 miles away from it. I was over here at Fontainebleau State Park, standing on the end of this pier right here. I have my camera set up on this pier and panning back and forth across the causeway here.
How far away are you from the bridge?
That is a little over 3 miles.
And the furthest point that you could see the bridge, how far is that?
I'm not sure exactly how far I was looking, but I could not see the other side of the lake because the conditions were so bad.
Okay, there's no like markers that you can kind of see on there that you can get a rough point?
Ronnie, are you sure you couldn't see the other side because of the conditions? Because apparently the conditions are not part of the curve calcs, and that they're just one of the excuses that we use, regardless of whether it's there or not. I'm just saying that the ballers think that it's always curve.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
So I've just spammed Ron's channel link in the live stream chat. So go and subscribe to him immediately. I posted the link to the live stream, so he actually hooked up his P1000 to, I presume, a phone and live streamed this. So although we've just had the top quality footage straight off presumably off the SD card, which is great. If you can make this full screen, even better. Brilliant. That's perfect. So you can go and see it done live. That's what the link goes to. But more importantly, go and subscribe to him.
I can't wait to get one of these P1000s.
I have some really good water tower observations that clearly show obstruction from refraction. Let's find them here.
So from the side view, that entire bridge looked level to you from over there? Where that was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Where's all that missing curvature though? That we see, that outstanding curvature that we don't see.
Hold on, let's not make it sarcastic. So what Ron's demonstrating is that it's flat. Correct, Ron?
Oh no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, Ron.
Ron, you've been in the flat Earth scene for a few years, right?
Yeah, probably about 2 years.
I'm sure you're one of the first people I came across in flat Earth.
Yeah.
I seem to remember seeing your name because it's a very unusual surname. It just seems to stuck in my head, and I just recognise it. That's all.
Yeah.
I've seen Ron's name around.
Yeah, you present.
Good to have you here, brother.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, you, Ranty, I think you presented one of my videos last year on here. The one I did of the boat going off in the distance, and looked like it was floating in the middle.
I remember. Yeah.
Well, then that's my bad. Since then, Ron, I've taken a bit more of a policy where if someone shows something, I go out of my way to actually spam their link and subscribe to them, etc., etc. So I was unaware of you, even though you've been presented on the show, so I feel now really guilty saying this. But this is Anthony's doing, so big shout out to Anthony. Anthony's been promoting other YouTubers in this Flat Earth club that we have and saying go and subscribe to them. And the reason is simple, because we don't get cross-promoted amongst ourselves, let alone out to the wider audience. So, we've got to share each other's stuff. So I'm now, thanks to Anthony, a lot more keen to, share and subscribe to people like yourself. So my bad for not doing it last time. Hopefully people who are watching right now, and I'll do it in the after show as well, will actually go and subscribe to you, and it will build up your channel even more, hopefully.
This is on my channel. I've been making these observations across this bay for over a year, in all different weather conditions. I always put my camera height. It's about 4.5 feet from the sand. I've got it muted. This is on my channel if anybody wants to go to it. But I've been recording the air and water temperatures. See, this picture is when I first arrived. That water tower is 17.5 miles away. It's like it's floating above the water.
That's the same distance as Pontchartrain, right?
Yeah. The air is actually cooler than the water is. This is at 8:25 in the morning. I think the air was in the 60s and the water was in the 70s. But I did some time lapses. As the air starts to get the same temperature as the water, you can start to see the whole thing. And this, I can predict this when this is going to happen every time. If the air is warmer than the water or cooler than the water, you get the same effects, or a variance of effects, but lots of mirroring and blockage happens when the air and water temperature are different.
How would you know the air and water temperature 17 miles away?
Well, I know where I was at, what the air and water temperature is, and this is a bay that is.
So you're giving the same value where you are to 17 miles away and using it as a guide.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just ordered a floating thermometer, which I'm going to start carrying out there with me to tell me the exact air and water temperature of where I'm at. But looking that far away, I don't have any way of knowing it out there. But I mean, the temperature's not going to vary that much. But like these docks, you can't see these at all some days. These are 6.5 miles away. Like the humidity and all affects it too, but sometimes you out there, you can't see these at all. It'll be a perfectly clear day.
On that image there, it looks like there's a little wave at the top that's on the water.
Yeah. Well, here's one of my time lapses of the water tower. You can see the water tower, this mirror line start to drop as the temperatures equalize. And then over here on this side, you'll start to see the roofs of those docks appear. And then say that when the temperatures get just right, you can see everything.
Do you have any tide effects there?
What's that?
Is there any tidal effects there?
Oh no, this bay has no tides. Well, it has I think the maximum tidal range recorded is 1.5 foot or something. But normally it's around 6 inches, the tides.
Check out a website called tidesforfishing.com.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jose. Any chance you can just scroll back a little bit to where that boat crosses past the water tower in the background? The first boat, not the second boat, the smaller boat. Sorry to be a pain.
Where'd it go?
While you're doing that, how tall is the water tower?
Looking at Google Earth, you can zoom down, as close as you can zoom. It says the eye height is 135 feet. I'm going to take my drone over there one day and fly it up and see if I can get an exact height on it. But
in excess of 100, in excess of 100 feet in actual size, feet and inches, 100 foot plus. Now, if you can scroll back to just where the first boat goes by, or this one, if you can pause this one when it gets in front of the water tower, just right. Probably not quite so good because it's further away, but this is now a little teeny tiny boat that's obscuring something that's 100 foot in the background. This is an effective perspective because the angular size of the boat. Yeah, if you can scroll back, it's not a great example without the boat fully obscuring it. So there's a smaller boat going back a little bit. Keep going. My apologies to the audience for my kid being a bit noisy.
I think Paul has the award for the loudest kid in the background, though. I guess he's not listening.
What's that?
Hey, I resemble that remark.
You resemble that remark.
I was close, Nathan.
She's okay. She's actually gone out, I said earlier, to go and get a birth certificate.
So, when you get... if you can stop the boat so that it stops, you know that triangular sign that's in the foreground. If you could stop, if you could stop the boat when it passes behind that, I want to make a point if you can, if you would.
Okay.
Yeah, wait your turn.
It's
going to come up any second now.
It'll get to the sign before it gets to the thing, won't it?
Is it the first boat you're talking about?
Either boat will do. That boat's just as good because it's definitely not a 100-foot boat, right?
Oh, no, definitely not. It's probably 10 feet.
So yeah, this one will do if you can scroll it back a couple of frames just so it obscures the water tower. It's going to be one of them, isn't it?
Put it on quarter speed.
Oh, yeah.
Warrior, just give me a cue and I can jump back in when you're ready.
So obviously, this boat in the near foreground is not in excess of 100 feet. Its angular size is considerably larger than the 100-foot tower in the background, which is reduced in angular size. Plot this into an Earth curve calculator or a misrepresentation of a flat Earth without perspective, and this boat can in no way obscure that tower. It's physically impossible if you exclude perspective. But, as I've just stated, given that the angular size of the boat is bigger, not feet and inches, not actual size that will not change with distance, 100 foot's 100 foot regardless of how far it is, but the angular size is massively variable depending on its distance, and the effect of angular size reduction with distance has simply been called curvature. Why is that tower smaller and further away? Oh right, that's because it's gone beyond the Earth curve, is it? No, it's just perspective, and here is an excellent demonstration of it. The boat is definitely smaller than the tower, but easily obscures it because it's larger angular size in the near foreground. Simple.
So Nathan, when Rumpus says things like, so an object's height, so in this case the top of the boat, Rumpus says that the height of that boat will always be of a certain point relative to the object in the distance because of perspective. Are you saying that Rumpus has got that wrong? Are you saying that actually it's because of perspective where the boat, even though it's smaller than, it can appear bigger than, and that's not a relative thing that he's describing? The way he describes perspective and the highest point of the boat compared to the tower is clearly wrong, because the highest point of the boat is going to be smaller than the tower, yet the highest point of the boat is bigger than the tower in the picture. That's perspective. So when Miles Delay Davis, I don't even know if he's still around, but when he was making that point about something law, Traprane law, his point was that the mountain peaks can only ever be lower than the thing in the background because it's lower in height. No, depends on how close it is to you. The closer it is, it's going to be bigger. Its angular size is going to be bigger. So again, they found a way to wiggle this to make it sound credible, but the reality is perspective does behave the way we say it does, not the way that the ballers do.
Can you tell me the distance to that tower, please? I'm just trying to work out. Sorry, it's what?
17.5 miles.
Okay. I'm just going to work out its angular size.
How tall is the tower?
I said I think it's around 135 feet. If you go on Google Earth and zoom down to it, that's the lowest you can get for the eye level. I'm going to take my drone over there one day and fly it up there and see exactly the height. But
oh, perfect. Can you pause this boat? Pause this boat. Pause this boat. This is brilliant. This is excellent because this will almost obscure it, right? Yep. This one will obscure the tower. There we go. Oh, no, not quite. Oh, well.
Could you tell me the name of the tower, please?
Yes, I can show it to you on the map. It is... Find it.
Yay.
Hey, Owen.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, Nathan. Chocolate.
Oh, I'm really
This is the bay here. This is called Chalk. This is called, wait, that's the wrong one. This is called the Choctawhatchee Bay. And this water tower is, I can show you the address. It is on Beacon Way Road.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And that is in Miramar Beach, Florida. And I have clear pictures. You can go down. I've showed this in some other videos. You can actually do a street view here.
Can you show us where you were taking images from?
Yeah. But you can do a street view and you can see the colors on the tower. So where to go? There's tan on the bottom and blue on the top. I've got clear pictures of this tower from.
While sorry, Nathan, while we're on sorting this out, does Sleeping Warrior want to talk about the navigation side of things?
Damn, I really don't want to get. I don't want to be like an ass, but I really wanted to present a few videos because I gotta jump out.
This is where I'm viewing it from, right here. This is. I forget the name of this park. See, it's
cool.
Garnier's Beach Park. It's in Fort Walton Beach.
Absolutely excellent. This has been epic. I was just saying in the chat, this is great. I know Jose's on a bit of a tight schedule. Are you okay to hang fire just for a little bit, Ron, while Jose presents?
Yeah.
Thank you. And in case it doesn't get said, again, really, really appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you very much indeed, Ron. As I say, subscribe today
Very
if you're watching this. Okay, Jose, I've got you up.
Thank you very much. First, I want to share this link. It's called tidesforfishing.com. And you scroll down all the way, and I'm gonna give you a map, and you can plug in by state and then by areas, and you go on the top of the page, and it's the best website that will break it down for you, all kinds of information about everything on the area you're looking at: visibility, temperature, humidity, the temperature, water versus air. I mean, it just break it down so good, the waves, the winds. So anybody can check it out, tidesforfishing.com.
What made you start looking at that?
Oh, since I was, since you start doing observations and talking about the tidal bores and the tides and all this kind of stuff, I started paying very close attention to the waves and the behavior of the water and the temperatures. Really good stuff. Really good. I like it.
Good.
Okay, I got 2 pieces of footage to share over here.
Jose, real quick, I just wanted to say condolences to your fam, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, tough day, emotionally broken, but the show must go on, man. First, this one is interesting. I think Ranti will appreciate this. This was last week. Massive inferior mirage. This is a short clip. I think I uploaded the raw footage. There comes a boat from left to right, fast, and we get that effect of the reflection of the boat in the back, in the front of this one. And he did it perfect because that one boat slowed down in the right moment. And look at that. Look at the boat sitting in the back, and look at the boat in the front. Look at I mean, it's mind blowing. Beautiful thing to look at. Is that cool or what?
Jose, do you think that that's the curvature of Earth that's obscuring the bottom of the boats?
No, not at all. No, have nothing to do with curve. It has to do everything with that optical phenomena on the weather, whatever mirage is going on. It's just a beautiful thing.
Would you agree with me that the?
Sorry.
Would you agree with me that the effects of perspective that we're looking at down the lens of the camera, whatever these effects are, you can call it whatever, reflection, dirtier, whatever, doesn't matter. But would you agree that these effects that you're pointing out right now don't appear in any of the curve calcs?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not sure about the question. Really good. Look at the birds in the right hand side right here.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to corner you against Rory, who thinks that perspective is calculated for or accounted for in the curve calcs, and we all know it's not. But I just wanted to see if you would support your colleagues when they agree with us that perspective is not accounted for in the curve calcs.
Yeah, I haven't. I never either push or pull in favor or against the curve calculator. I'm more of this approach: take footage and let others bust their head and break their brains figuring out what's going on.
For the benefit of the audience, that was Jose wiggling his ass like a bitch.
No. Hold on. Before the ridicule sets in, have we got more to present, Jose?
Yes. I got two more clips. This was the same day last week, and this is a beautiful. And the same day, water was so calm, there was no waves. It was early, about 9 in the morning. The air was actually a little colder than the water by about 10 degrees. Uh, and then look at that mirage. Where those palm trees are, the palm trees in there, they are about 6 miles away from me. Oh, I'm standing at 6 foot above the water. I'm just standing on the low tide sand and the wet sand, and I got my tripod, the 6 foot tripod, like right in my face. So the palm trees are about 6 miles away, and the buildings are 11 miles away. And then I don't see the bridge. There's like a bridge across where the palm trees are. Not a bridge, like a street, a low street. And I don't
You
see
know
none
the
of that because
It's because it's probably too small to see because the bridge itself reduces in angular size to a point, and then you can't see it anymore because it's too small.
no, right now it's just this massive mirroring effect that's going on that is hiding all of that. I mean, I don't even know if we were able to see it or not. But you know what happened? I went yesterday. I went out yesterday to relax my mind, to just breathe the air and just think about pretty things. And I took the jet for a ride. And I took the same footage, and it was no mirage whatsoever, no mirroring. It was perfection. And this is what I'm going to show you right now. The same footage with no mirroring, no reflection. So we got this one is the one that I'm from last week, and then I got here the one from yesterday, and I'm gonna hit play on it. Look at that. Now, yesterday, this is it. It was about 2 p.m. It was about 15 degrees difference. The water, the water was hotter than the air. The same inversion of temperatures, but it was about 15 degrees difference. It was windy like a mother, and it was a little shaky the camera because of the wind. But then look at the cars. You see the cars crossing by. You see the street. You see where the end where the palm trees sit. You see the avenue. You see
Can
the
you see the
whole thing.
bridge?
You see clear. Yeah, I mean, I see the cars driving by.
Where's the
This is
bridge
a
though that you
speedboat.
were?
This
Where's
is
the
a
bridge that
speedboat.
Jose?
Yeah,
Where's the bridge that you were pointing?
this is about 6 miles away.
No, can you see the bridge in the imagery?
Oh, it's a street, a low street. I can see over here. It's a little darker, so I guess this is like the trees, a little bit of a trees around the bridge. But I can see
So,
the cars driving.
so what I'm saying is, if you can't see the bridge on this occasion, perhaps the bridge is too small to see, and that's the reason why you're at the point where it is too small to see. Even though you know it's there, you just can't see it, right?
Might be, yeah, might be.
Do you know the height
But
of the bridge there, Jose?
well, I look in Google Earth and it's telling me 5 foot, but a 5 foot bridge is very inaccurate. That's my opinion because this doesn't get it doesn't get blocked by the water. And the tide fluctuates from 1.5 to 2 feet, but the water never get that close as the for the bridge. I don't think they're gonna construct a 5 foot above the water bridge. This is a BC, little highway from one little island to another, the little land in Florida.
Okay, and
But in Google
what's your
Earth,
elevation with the camera?
6 foot, 6 foot, like getting my foot almost wet in the water and me standing at 6 foot. Tripod in my face right there.
You already looked at the curve calcs on that. I mean, should you have seen those cars?
I have not. I have not looked into it. Let me put
Fair
a
play.
side by side right here, really quick.
Suck it and see, right,
Just
Jose?
one last- Huh?
Suck it and see.
It's about the same. It says it should 4 feet should be hidden. Yeah, seems about right. But then again, 4 feet is negligible to flat. Let's be honest. Over 6 miles.
So yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of parallax on yesterday's. I was standing maybe 20 to 30 foot to the left of where I took this image, but it's exactly in the same beaches, in the same distance, same maximum optical zoom, 83 times in the P900. I zoom in all the way, poop, until it stopped before I go to digital.
I think what's really interesting in that is it's showing that the inferior mirage is actually starting probably around about at least halfway up the trees is where the inferior mirage actually starts. So you are losing all that bottom stuff.
Yeah.
It's all the cars that would be there, the bottom of those trees, everything that you can see just normally are all hidden by the start of the inferior mirage, which is exactly what I've found as well, to be fair.
Yeah. before I got there and I zoom in, I step out the car and it was burning. It was so hot. It was like almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit, you know. I was like, damn, it's gonna be such a bad mirage and the wind is gonna be nasty. But then when I zoom in and I see, oh, like, holy cow, it's clear. I can see like the whole thing is like I see no reflection because I pan around to everywhere and I took a couple different clips and it was really good. It was just windy, you know.
That's actually been stretched as well, stretched down. The inferior mirage, it stretched everything from above the center point. Actually stretched everything down.
Yeah, and you can see the little parallax with the palm. Like, let's say this set of palm trees is a little more to the right in this one, etc. You know.
Was this one on the right the third video, or is there another one, Jose?
That's it. Let me get both videos zoom out at the same time. They're coming in now, so you can get an idea of, you know, kind of the same thing. And I'm done.
Excellent. Again, massive thank you. That was ace. Thank you very much for sharing that, Jose. Really appreciate it.
Just before you go, Jose,
I just
what
want
do you think
to
of the...
nearly done. So I've spammed Jose's link also, so I'll do it again now. So go and subscribe to Jose.
Jose, what did you think of the Pontchartrain side profile? You know, the orthographic profile that's meant to show like a load of curve. It was presented before. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you think that it looked Did you think it looked bendy?
I'm gonna throw copyright phrase by Jeran. Interesting.
So I'll take that as a no then in that context. It didn't look bendy.
Just so you know, Ron, during that presentation there was a bit of background noise coming through, so I popped you on mute just so you're aware. If you did want to present some other stuff, you're more than welcome to. But you just need to take yourself.
No, I'm good. Thank you very much. I just want to share because I like, you know, still using the P900 like as much as I can, and any little piece of footage that I can upload for anybody to take a look and figure it out. I'm always going to do that.
Well, thank you, Jose. I know you have got limited time, but thank you very much for sharing it. I really appreciate it. So yeah, Ron, I popped you on mute just so you know.
Okay.
Did you have other things you wanted to present, Ron?
If you want to see the rest of this water tower footage I took.
Whatever you've got, definitely. I'm more keen than ever, mate. So yes, please.
Yeah. Totally awesome. I'm real keen to see what the Sleeping Warrior thinks about navigation after that. That'd be great.
You do realise that the point that you're looking at was to do with meteorology exams that you claim that you took, right? Not to do with navigation.
No, meteorology and navigation. I stated that. If you didn't understand that,
you didn't. You said meteorology. You said your words were, "It's been a few years since I've done my meteorology exams." So I'm asking you, what were the exams that you did? Because as far as I'm aware, there are no exams for meteorology.
Do you actually? You just stated right then that no commercial pilot or ATPL or airline transport pilot in the world studies meteorology.
Did anybody hear me say that the airline pilots don't study meteorology? Did anybody hear me say that?
No, but I did hear that they would say that let Ron finish his presentation first, and then you guys can go at it.
I'd agree with that, Runty. If you don't mind. Sorry, Jazz. Yeah. I know you got into it first, but yeah.
Meteorology exams is why in the world would you think? Why on the flat Earth would you think that?
Right. Ron, on you go.
Muted you. Please don't mute other guests. Look, you can control guests with words, not muting them. I know I had to mute Ron, but it was because he was making background noise. But you're on now, Ron. You presented to the audience, looking beautiful.
Okay, y'all can hear me. Y'all can see my screen.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is just I was doing time lapses to catch the mirror line actually going away here. As today, you see the top of this dock start to appear over here on the right. This dock is about 6.5 miles away. And then there's a shorter dot next to it. You'll also start to see it appear in a minute. But you can see as the mirroring stretches the water tower down closer and closer to the water. And then you'll eventually see this mirroring go away and see the actual stem of the water tower.
Is there an inlet near, from the ocean into this lake?
Yes, this is on right next to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. Do you feel that, in that narrow bottleneck, do you ever see any effects of the tidal push as it comes in and recedes?
Like I said, this is called the Choctawhatchee Bay. You can look up the tides on it. The tides are normally only about 6 inches.
Yeah, not just the whole. I mean, they measure that off the whole elevation during the lake, but in that narrow funnel, right next to where you're filming, you've got all that water pushing in through that very, very narrow gap. You're actually filming across that.
Oh, filming across the.
So as the tide comes in, you're going to see a lot of water pushing through in that very narrow area. I was just wondering if that contributes to some of the blockage that you see.
That could.
Do you know what that's called?
I've been looking
water?
for the temperatures. Like I said, especially here in the wintertime, you can catch it changing like this. In the summertime, you go out here probably every day and not see any of this ever because it's too hot. The air temperature just gets well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer here and 100% humidity. It's just impossible to see this stuff in the summer.
Exactly. The other thing I noticed is that there appears to be. All right, ignore me. No, yeah. All right.
No, go. No, you go ahead, Sleeping Warrior. Go ahead.
Well, it looks like the thing that's on the far right hand side. The two, I'm not sure what they are, but one's got a white roof, and them two things there. What are they?
Those are boat docks behind people's houses. These are people's houses on the bay, and they have.
Oh, they're in the foreground, are they?
Yes, they're 6 miles away.
Right. I thought there were some kind of structures in the real background. It's okay. Carry on. I was gonna say, are they being compressed?
No, you know what I think's happening? I'll be honest. I think the tide's pushing in. I think it's causing artificial bulging in that location as you film across it, and then as the tide turns and stops to have that push, that's when you actually see things drop, and you can actually see things in the distance.
Didn't he say there was very little tide?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. There's only half a meter of tide. So, but you've still got all that tide pushing through that bottleneck right next to where he's filming. So
I can't familiarise. Do you have Google Earth up, Branty, at the moment? Can you show us the bottleneck? I'm not familiar with this area.
Hang on.
Branty, Flat Earth, Sleeping Warrior, and Nathan, do you mind if I just jump in here real quick?
You're keen. Yeah. You're keen.
So obviously, this is where you're filming from, isn't it? Fort Walton Beach.
Yeah.
And this is where the tide comes in. The tide pushes in through this little narrow gap here. So let me just put a line in. So it's pushing through this bottleneck there, and you're filming across that.
Ranty,
have you thought that maybe that's causing any kind of...
Sorry, I didn't get you on screen quick enough. Sorry, Ranty, I didn't get you on screen quick enough. Can you just show it again?
Oh, sorry. I want to go to that. Yeah, I'm just saying that this is where you're filming from over on this beach here, and you film into the tower here, and you're filming the only way in to this lake is through this little narrow opening here. So you've got all the ocean trying to force, as the tide turns, causing some sort of localized bulging, I would think, in this location. This is the bottleneck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that something worth considering?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Ranty, Sleeping Warrior, and Nathan,
you can see also,
if I jump in here just real quick?
You can also see the sedimentation around the exhaust or the valve as the water goes through. You can see the sedimentation, which reduces the shallowness of the water, and that creates more pressure going through that point. But anyway,
all I can hear is Jazz heavy breathing.
Depends on whether the run's finished.
Jazz, all I can hear is your heavy breathing.
Sleeping Warrior, do you mind if
I didn't really want to hijack the point there. Sorry, Ron. I have to apologise. It's just
Nathan, Sleeping Warrior, do you mind if I jump in? All good.
Sorry, Ron. Could you do we see the whole tower?
No, Jazz.
Why is that, Owen?
Oh, for the love of God, you're not picking up on the subtlety of people ignoring your repeated asking if it's okay to chime in. Is it relevant to what we're talking about right now? I'm willing to bet a pound it's not, and it's specifically... Relevant. Haven't finished. Haven't finished. I'll eject you if you interrupt me again. I'm willing to bet a pound this is about you, isn't it, Jazz?
No.
So it's
And
about
we've
what's
seen
on
proof of
screen. It's specifically about what we're talking about.
We're talking about the water flowing into the sound, which is what we were just talking about. That's why
Fine,
I
I
said,
take it
do you
back.
mind if I interrupt?
I apologise. Go ahead, Jazz.
So, Ranty, Flat Earth, you just brought up the slowing of the flow going into the bay, and
Jazz, just back off your mic a little bit. You're popping more than our windows.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Yeah.
I don't pop anymore.
Oh God, this is going to be an eternity, isn't it?
No. No, you'll be able to learn something from this. Randy, Flat Earth, we were just talking about the ebbs and flows into the bay, into San Francisco Bay. That's actually called the Bernoulli's principle.
Okay.
And you can look that up on
How is that the Bernoulli principle? How is that the Bernoulli principle? I'm going to call you on that. That's not. I can't see an obvious Bernoulli principle application there.
Well, it's the same thing. When you confine a fluid between a bay, like the Bay Bridge and whatever the East Bank is, I don't know what that's called. It's the same thing. When you confine an airflow or a water flow, and water is considered as liquid in aviation, not flat, it will speed up when the area is confined. It will speed up, and the dynamic pressure and static pressure will drop. That's what creates
where will
lift.
that pressure drop?
That's what creates lift.
Right. What's the problem, Anthony? He's right.
So if it causes slip, are you saying it causes a vertical increased height in the liquid, in the water?
That's why an aeroplane's wing creates lift, because the camber of the wing.
That's the correct application of Bernoulli over a wing of a plane. But what I'm asking is, where's the lower pressure in this instance? Because you've claimed it's a Bernoulli effect, and I'm asking you to explain where the low pressure it is.
No, he's
the low
right.
Pressure, the low pressure is above the wing.
I've got to chime in because otherwise this will take forever. He's right. So if you force water through a hose and the hose becomes more constricted, it will increase the pressure and flow faster.
That's right.
So it's like putting your thumb over the end of a hose.
But that's not the Bernoulli effect, though.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
The Bernoulli effect is the high pressure causes a low pressure, which you see with the lift of a wing on a plane. But in this context, where do we see the low pressure? And how is it comparable to Bernoulli?
No. The low pressure is above the wing.
Give me a second. I
agree with you on the wing.
I'm just going to look it up and read it.
It's the causation of a low pressure in a high pressure situation. We agree that the water going through creates the high pressure, but where's the Bernoulli effect in play?
The Bernoulli effect is creating a low pressure above the wing. The wing isn't lifting itself into the air.
I agree with the wing.
It's sucking itself into the air.
Hey, guys, one thing. Just before you go on, can I just get clarity? So you're actually agreeing that the principle's correct and that there will be a localized bulge in that location?
No, that's not what he's claiming. He's claiming that the increase will be a speed increase. So the velocity of the water would have to increase as it goes through the channel. Well, as an adverse effect of that, I would argue, and so does your scientist you have a citation from, or whatever he is, professor, that causes an increase in the level, which makes perfect sense. It's not constricted, it's not going through a tube, so it can, it's not just going to increase velocity, it's also going to raise slightly in height, which is precisely what does happen, and Ranty's point, and this is supporting that point. So the Bernoulli effect would just increase speed if it was going through a tube, but it's not. It does have the ability to be to relieve the pressure in a different way, and that way would be to spread out and become higher, rather than just increasing velocity.
It's two-sided, Nathan.
Nathan, that's what I was just saying about the bay in San Francisco.
Yeah, you're agreeing. You're agreeing with Ranty.
That's exactly why.
Yeah, you're supporting Ranty's point. Great. I agree. And Ranty's right. And yeah, the Bernoulli principle. Yeah, great. Wonderful.
Holy
Jazz,
shitballs.
please back off from your microphone. You're breathing down it and constantly interrupting people by breathing.
Sorry, mate. Sorry about that.
Right. So, back to Ron. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Ron? Because I know we've cut you off halfway through and you've been good enough to come on at my request.
Oh no, no, I'm good. I was just showing that. See, I've got tons and tons of this stuff on my channel.
Can I add something to the hose argument?
Push can. Who is that? Right.
You were asking. Yeah. You're asking where the low pressure is when the high pressure is in the hose. The low pressure is when it comes back out of the hose. It's going to drop again.
Sure.
Perfectly correct.
I think we're all in agreement for once. This rarely happens. So, yeah, great.
Can we spam Ron Hagbird's channel again, please, Nate? Because he has a ton of observations there. I'm seriously jealous that he's got these beautiful shots right now, because I can't see anything. It's total white out here. So if you like my stuff, go over to Ron. He's got exactly the same.
I just got my P900 back from getting it converted, so I'll be coming out with a bunch of infrared stuff too soon. So y'all look out for that.
Oh wow! You're saying it's coming back or back? Did you say?
I just got it back 2 days ago.
Oh wow! Have you used it already?
Yes, I've done not long distance. I've done some shots just around my neighborhood and stuff with it. I've done some time lapses with it.
All the more reason to go and subscribe today. So as I say, I've just spammed his chat. How do you pronounce your surname?
Yeah, that's my actual name, Ron Hagberg.
Hagberg. Ron Hagberg.
Hagberg.
Go subscribe today. Link in the live chat.
Anyway, sorry, Nathan, thanks for having me anyway, and everyone else, all you guys, Paul, Ron, Randy, Arwen. I got to go. You guys have a good one.
No idea why you were sorry. For the first time ever, you supported our argument. So thank you.
I wouldn't say that, but
I would. Thank you very much.
Catch you later.
Thanks, Jazz. There's now a gap on the panel. We're going to round out in the next couple of minutes. And then
with that,
shout out to the meteorology exams that you probably didn't take.
Now, what's interesting is that when you actually now bring up these effects that you obviously see and work out over plenty of observations and things, you actually start looking into it. When you actually do that, you get people agreeing with you. The Globers, they have to eventually, because it's so damn obvious, that if you're filming through a very narrow channel, you're going to get some kind of vertical lift on the water. It's just obvious.
Cool. I'm going to plug my own channel. So yesterday we did a very, very long after show, and Slick very involved, Ebon Kim very involved, John very involved, Anthony very involved. Oh, that's John now, is it? His name mentioned. Hey, John.
Hey, I want to ask Jazzaconda something before you close out.
You want to? Well, I'm just literally about to. You're gonna get the last point. Then I was gonna make a different one, but you go ahead.
Yeah, I had to come on, man. Jazzaconda said water is considered liquid in aviation. That's what he said. Right? Is he still here?
No.
No, he left.
Oh man, what the heck? No one called him on this.
I'm not in aviation, and I consider water
aviation.
liquid.
I wanted to ask him what they consider pillows in aviation. Are they walruses?
I was.
I'm kind of sad I didn't hear that now. I wasn't listening to that.
It's just a convention.
The hard thing with Jazz is he's half cut most of the time, but even when he's sober, he sounds half cut. So you don't know which jazz you're getting. Are you getting the half-cut jazz or are you getting the dopes jazz? But either way, it's going to be a boring conversation.
I'll reiterate John's point. So this convention that's been contrived that describes both liquids and gases as fluids is simply a convention, a contrived convention, and to extract out of it that in his example they are the same is not true. However, doesn't make any difference. He's still supporting our argument. So either way, but John is correct. He was wrong to use that contrived convention.
I don't think he was trying to use that. It just came out of his mouth. I was dumbstruck. I don't know. I consider water. I got a glass of water right here. I consider it liquid. Am I an aviator?
I wonder what industries don't consider water to be a liquid.
Water's definitely a liquid.
Eskimos.
Well, no, they experience it as solid form, though, don't they?
Oh man, I just
I
woke
keep
up,
wondering-
man. Why did you ask pertinent questions on this panel? Would you get ballers on here? Ask them about Lake Pontchartrain. Ask them about the elevation levels at the ends of the shoreline of the bridge, for crying out loud.
You still got your map up, Ranty?
Yeah.
I'm gonna extend the live show slightly. Lucky old you. So while Ranty does that, I'm gonna present him. So I'm gonna tell the people of the audience to go and subscribe to my second channel. So for the first time, the after show had almost as many views and considerably more comments than the main show did. So that's on Nathan Oakley channel, and that channel's been I hadn't really noticed that it's grown quite considerably without me even realising it, and now it gets quite a substantial number of views on the extended after shows, especially one of which was yesterday. So thanks to everyone who stuck around for the 4-hour epic that was that after show. It was great. It was really, really interesting, but it's getting lots and lots of views. So if you're enjoying the show, immediately go and subscribe to Nathan Oakley, because it's more of the same, and it's exclusive material in terms of the after show and pre-show that goes out there. So check it out. Also, when this live show ends, the next live show will be broadcast for only the period that it's live on the second channel. It then goes out with the after show and pre-show on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so I can have a weekend off and do Ballbusters on Saturday, sort of a weekend off. But nevertheless, so it's well worth subscribing to the second channel. Check it out. So, and Anthony, Ranty, can you zoom in to each side of the lake and just show us the elevations? We've just about got them on screen from you. They're teeny tiny, but...
However, and I will say, it's not my argument, this.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just want you to show that on this side of the bridge, you've got an elevation of, what is it, 1, 2...
1 metre.
Yeah. And then if you go to the other side, and then John will make the point, and then I'll round out the live show. And as he's doing that, I'll say stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley, as there will be an after show to follow. There you go, so you can see it. What is it? 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. Okay, John, mic's all yours, and then we'll round out.
Yeah, so they're saying that Soundly's bridge curves. I mean, this causeway is physically curving, dropping. So I fail to see their argument here. One side of the bridge is 1, 2, and 3 foot at the shoreline. The other side of the bridge is 1, 2, 3 foot on the shoreline. It's flat. The elevations are the same. That's the definition of level. So how do they get curve out of that?
There isn't any. It would appear that Google Earth represents the Earth as we experience it. That is flat.
So Google Earth represents, or it renders it flat, correct?
Yeah, when you go into the lower scales, when you get closer, as opposed to the zoomed out view where it obviously depicts it as a sphere and re-renders it every time you move it, well, at this level, it's representing the Earth as we experience it, and that's flat.
Right, it has to have drop. Remember, in their religion, 8 inches per mile squared, right? That's vertical drop. So where's the vertical drop at? Now, is Google the model? Do they have another model? We need to see that model where it has the actual happenings on it. So you need to give us that. And what's on Ballbusters this week?
On Ballbusters this week. So, yes, if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley Live, it will actually be at the correct time to plug it. So, what's the day? It's Thursday. So, in 2 days' time, on Saturday, we will have Ballbusters on the Big Bang. So, it's the other side, if you will, of the ontological primitives. So, last week we rounded out the double slit and the delayed choice quantum eraser experiments, respectively. And this week we'll look at the nonsense that is the narrative that goes along with the heliocentric model and its beginnings, i.e. the Big Bang. So be here or be sphere, 2 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. UK, Ballbusters live on Nathan Oakley 1980. And with that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in live for smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. If you are watching this on Nathan Oakley channel, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Also, a massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this debate possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!